Thank you for joining us as we present the Team 5 company narrative for NVIDIA, the current leader in transformative technology. Team 5 is myself, Michaela Sawyer, Eddie Cordero, Joseph Tonga, Max Hayek, and Nicholas Norbutus.
NVIDIA's mission is to solve problems that ordinary computers cannot. Their vision for the future is to redefine realism and lead the new AI revolution. Their high-performance graphics processing units serve their legacy consumers that helped to build them into the brand that they are today. Recently, they have used this market power to dive into the world of generative AI. This is because their GPU computer chips are perfectly fitted for the high-demand nature of AI computing. In this presentation, we will examine NVIDIA's communication with their stakeholders as it relates to both ethical and economic concerns. In the end, we will make recommendations for improvements in this communication to strengthen the relationship that NVIDIA holds with their primary stakeholders.
Now that NVIDIA has positioned itself as more than just a high-performance hardware brand for gamers, they have adjusted their narrative to emphasize their commitment to AI and general technological advancements. While NVIDIA's business model has changed over time, their current core business pillars include accelerated and high-performance computing, video game graphics drivers, AI and deep learning, data center solutions, and autonomous machines. NVIDIA's CEO recently stated, accelerated computing and generative AI have hit the tipping point, which supports their commitment to the new AI revolution. NVIDIA's public identity is one of both technological advancement and sustainable business practices. A March 2024 press release reinforces that NVIDIA has made several advancements into the energy efficiency of their data centers, as well as their ongoing commitment to public security as it relates to the use of AI technology. We see this supported through several different forms, the most recent and relevant of which is the announcement of several new AI platforms and ad campaigns with slogans such as, "The more you do with AI, the more you need NVIDIA." Jensen Huang emphasizes this further in a recent keynote speech, where their new partnership with Dell was announced. This partnership will bring new AI factories to the market, solidifying NVIDIA as a leader across the tech industry.
However, these narratives not always align with what is being expressed by NVIDIA's key stakeholders. A recent investment in AI-driven surveillance will give government authorities the ability to identify, track, and monitor individuals, posing a clear ethical dilemma surrounding the use of AI. Coming from investors, there are concerns about sustainability and tangibility of share prices, mostly due to NVIDIA's heavy reliance on hype to drive investments. The overall public is concerned about the obvious. How will NVIDIA ensure their advancements in the AI industry are for the betterment of society while mitigating privacy and security risk? NVIDIA has not directly made it clear through their communications. Three primary stakeholders, investors, media, and the general public, are all concerned with a lack of communication when it comes to AI market being monopolized in favor of NVIDIA. NVIDIA has failed to address the real concerns being brought to their attention head-on, with little attention being paid to the details that consumers and investors need to know. Tech analysts were the first to point out the delay of specific conversations from NVIDIA regarding their plan and addressing many security and privacy related concerns. The implications of these concerns can be put into three groups. Number one, economic. Some estimates put NVIDIA shares of the AI chip market as high as 90%, increasing the liability to the general public for ethical concerns, and also makes them a high target for regulatory bodies when it comes to antitrust laws. Number two, fines. Should NVIDIA be held guilty for violating said antitrust laws in the EU alone, they could be fined for approximately 10% of their total revenue. Number three, sales restrictions and the loss of market share. Regulations being imposed on NVIDIA would strive sales growth and the loss of brand reputation would significantly affect their market share in critical regions.
There are primary and secondary investors. Primary shareholders are strategically aligned with the company. Secondary investors do not directly fund the company operations but are connected to them as they seek the best financial results. Furthermore, for insight into the communication breakdown, we've used the 4-step stakeholder model from the secret handshake to evaluate position, power, perspective, and performance objectives for each stakeholder group. NVIDIA's key stakeholders are its largest institutional shareholders, Vanguard and BlackRock. Combined, these firms hold approximately 16.78% of NVIDIA's voting power, giving them high power and influence in strategic decision-making. Their position is generally supportive of NVIDIA's long-term growth, particularly in maintaining a dominant role in the semiconductor industry. They strongly believe that a good ESG score is as important as financial performances. These investors want transparency around regulatory risks and ethical responsibilities. Another major stakeholder group is regulatory bodies, including the U.S. government and international trade regulators that have a strong influence. Recent trade wars with China have hindered NVIDIA's profitability with tariffs and restricted trading. Recently, the U.S. government restricted NVIDIA from selling in China. Nevertheless, their main objective is to protect national security. Lastly, our third stakeholder is their main customers, such as other major corporations that rely on their chips for their own products to function. Generally supportive of NVIDIA's innovation, yet centered on pricing stability while maximizing their profits.
Tech consumers, including gamers and creators, are loyal to NVIDIA's performance, but have clearly expressed frustration on the grounds of pricing and transparency. They're looking for value, good communication, and reassurance that NVIDIA isn't over-commercializing access to innovation. Their potency, forming brand perceptions and driving online chatter, particularly on platforms like Reddit and YouTube. Regulators, including the FTC and the European Commission, are zeroing in on NVIDIA's monopoly. Current probes focus on exclusive contracts and bundling practices. They have the power, and they want companies like NVIDIA to participate competently, justly, and openly in the marketplace. Falling short of these standards risk legal scrutiny and public reciprocation.
Our new communication goal is clear: to build trust with our stakeholders and lower their perceived opacity by enhancing NVIDIA's external messaging on ethics and responsible AI, and by undercutting the narrative of anti-competitive behavior in the market. This is good for NVIDIA in that it reduces uncertainty and increases trust, as does fulfilling the expectations of transparency by stakeholders. Such tactics might be publishing a responsible AI policy, hosting public Q&A sessions, and by introducing ethical KPIs into investor communications. Channels such as ESG reports, YouTube explainers, and executive blogs would be sufficient channels through which NVIDIA could relay this message. We would like to end here by restating this quote from CEO Jensen Huang. Accelerated computing and generative AI have hit the tipping point. With growth comes maturity and the need for more robust, sophisticated, and nuanced forms of communication. A 265% year-over-year surge in data center revenue demonstrates where NVIDIA stands, but also how bright a spotlight it has attracted. Through crystal clear communication with stakeholders and by meeting concerns head-on and being proactive, NVIDIA can stay as a market leader and also win back the trust of the public. Thank you for viewing our presentation. These are our references, and we are excited to see you in our upcoming case competitions. Thank you.